So today I want to review Daredevil Season 3, and I believe this is the first review I've done in a while. I've done discussion videos, I've done other types of videos, but this is the first review I've done in a while. So my thoughts on this series is just that it is amazing, okay? Like, if I had to give you a score, Season 1 is an 8 out of 10, Season 2 is a 7.5 out of 10, Season 3 you'll get the score at the end, but it is just amazing. It is amazing. Like, Season 3, just to give you an idea, in my opinion, has the best fight scene ever put on a series. I was about to say TV series, but on a series, because, well, this is Daredevil, this is Netflix, the best fight in a TV series. Not only that, right? What I love about this is it starts slow. It's a slow burner. It feels like kind of like a Dark Knight Rises, but elongated. You know, when he's in the pit, it's like that for Matt Murdock in the beginning of this series, and I really love that because despite all its flaws, Dark Knight Rises is my favorite of the Nolan trilogy, just because of the type of story it is. I know it's the most flawed of the three movies, but it's still my favorite one just because of the story it tells. So being a bit like Dark Knight Rises in the beginning was amazing for me. I loved that aspect of it. And I mean, just like everything was executed so well. Charlie Cox did a great Matt Murdock, and Daredevil again. Vincent D'Onofrio did a great Wilson Fisk. I mean, I'm one of the few people who thinks that Wilson Fisk, the guy who acts him, is a bit cringy at times, and that's still here, but it's no denying that that's just from me, and that overall, he has a very strong screen presence, and he's an amazing actor. So he did amazingly. You know, the guy who plays Point Dex did it amazing. I was expecting to not like his character that much, but actually it was very intriguing for me. And one of the things that I have to say about Daredevil that really just stands out for me is what I love. They've done this since Season 1, but what I love about it is that they don't feel like they need to shove a Daredevil fight scene in your face every episode. In fact, there will be episodes where you go without Daredevil fighting someone, without Matt Murdock fighting someone, right? Hell, there's one episode that goes right into Karen's backstory. Now, I find Karen to be kind of an annoying character, but I kind of fell for her more because I know her backstory now, and I kind of understand why she's done some of the annoying things she's done. And to her credit, she was quite useful this series, and so was Foggy. I mean, they were all useful, and that was great, because in Season 2, I felt that Foggy and Karen were just kind of there. You know, they didn't do much. Whereas in Season 3, without their help, you know, things would have gone much worse than they did go down, you know, like that. I love how involved all the characters are in this season, and that really just speaks to what my favorite thing about Daredevil is in general, is that it's so dark and gritty, more dark and gritty than anything else in Marvel, at least on live action screen, right? It's the most dark thing we have of Marvel on screen, Daredevil currently, but it also has this center of hope and helping, right? That's what I love about it so much. It doesn't shy away from getting into the nitty-gritty and getting into just, you know, the shit-filled fist, but at the same time, it's all about hope and helping. And like, one thing that really speaks to this is a side character that I thought was really gonna annoy me. Agent Nadeem was just, you know, I loved his character by the end of it. I absolutely loved his character, and I loved everything that happens, and I got super invested in him. But I mean, without his sacrifices in general that he makes, you know, with like helping Matt, and just with investigating things, and like just going above and beyond on everything, and doing all that, you know, then once again, things would have ended up worse than they ended up. And if there was a certain detective who never, you know, strayed from one of the things that Daredevil Season 3 is really about is corruption. Now, all of them have kind of had that, but Daredevil Season 3 really delves, more than any other TV show I've seen that's like superhero based or action based, it delves so deeply into how much the system can get corrupted. By Wilson Fisk in this case, obviously, but how deep-seated that can get. And I believed it. It didn't seem like TV far-fetched. It was actually kind of scary at times, how believable it was and how deep-seated the corruption got. And I loved how this series portrayed that. It was really amazing and really unique. And there was one detective who, you know, because the FBI or the you know, it's all complicated. It's a mess. Who's corrupt and whatever. And if it wasn't for this one detective being faithful and stuff like that, then once again things wouldn't have turned out as they did at the end of the series, right? And I just love that part of Daredevil. That sure, Matt Murdock beating up people is important. Daredevil beating up people is important, but without the help of the citizens and without the help of, you know, the best people from the city, whether they have powers or not, whether they're fighters or not, without those people's help, you know, then Daredevil may as well just be punching sacks of flour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love that aspect of the show, because too many superhero things just show that the superhero can do it all on his own, right? And doesn't need any political help, doesn't need anything else. But Daredevil, I love how it shows that he needs that. And honestly, it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. The whole like fake Daredevil thing with Poindexter was brilliant. I loved the build up to it. And honestly, there was a side character in there that you only see for like 3 episodes that I actually ended up caring for a bit more, which was weird. Like the way her arc progressed, I actually ended up caring for her a bit more, which was just like mind-boggling, you know? And one thing that I think is really brave of Daredevil Season 3 is that a lot of these gritty shows don't like to have happy endings. And obviously they make it clear that the happy ending isn't happy forever. But it actually has a happy ending, and I love that. Too many shows today, not just superhero, not just action, too many shows in general today think, oh, happy endings are too cliche, you can't do them, let's go and like, you know, let's go off the beaten path, let's make that ending not happy, blah blah blah. And now that's become more cliche. So to see a happy ending for once was actually really nice and refreshing, and I just loved the fact that we actually got a happy ending for once. It was like, holy crap, this is so refreshing, and it felt so good because it was like, hey, all my characters that I like are happy together, they're having a nice time. And what I will say is that Daredevil Season 3 covered so much and did so much good fights and did so much good acting and everything that I thought that I wouldn't get enough closure, but I got just as much closure as I wanted for the most part. Like, and that's what everything in this season just fits. It just gels. It all just, you know, it just goes together. It all just works, and it works so well. It's like everything was just meticulously crafted. I mean, hell, Season 2 of Daredevil was March of 2016, and this one only came out like last Friday, right? So that just shows how much effort they probably put into this series, and it really shows. Like I said, best fight scene, or best just like action scene ever on a series. That's my opinion. You can try and change it, but if you watch Daredevil Season 3, you'll know what fight scene and what action, because it's an action slash fight scene, because it's not always fighting in it, what scene I am talking about. What I will say is that while there are cons, like me thinking Fisk's acting sometimes is a little bit hammy, but that's just because that's just my personal taste. I know objectively he's amazing, people love him, he's got the best live action portrayal of Fisk, that much is for sure. And sometimes I found the sound mix thing a tiny bit weird, but overall it was like really solid. Like most of the time the sound mixing was amazing. So obviously you're gonna have some stumbles here and there with the sound mixing when you make it that good, like for majority of it. So there's a couple, you know, there's a couple like little micro issues, but there's so many pros too. Amazing fight scenes, being able to go without fight scenes for a whole entire 50-minute episode and still hold my attention. You know, building everything up so well, from side characters to plot twists to other surprises that aren't necessarily plot twists, but they pull it off so well that it feels like a surprise, to just amazing character moments. Like a lot of series, by the time you get to Season 3, character development is like an afterthought. Oftentimes by that time, character development is just so lazily done, whereas in this one I felt that character development was so well done. Like better, like character development in this was better done than any other Daredevil season I've seen. And that's something to say, because they've all had great character development in each season. So I just love that about it. Daredevil Season 3 has got to be my favorite season of any TV series ever. And it's hard for me to pick favorites for things, okay? It's really hard for me to pick favorites for everything. But this is irrefutably my favorite TV series season I have ever seen. And with that, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think I've ever given anything a 10 out of 10 on this channel. This is the closest anything has ever gotten. A 9.5 out of 10. Amazing production design. Amazing everything. You've heard what I've had to say. The 9.5 out of 10 is super, super deserved. Okay? Go watch this series for yourself. I don't want to spoil anything. Like, what's just amazing, right, is some of the stuff that would seem hammy, like for example characters screaming at each other, is pulled off so well in the series because the acting chops makes it believable, and the history between characters makes something as hammy as screaming at each other believable and seem organic, and that's really impressive to pull off. So yeah guys, 9.5 out of 10. If you've seen Daredevil Season 3, let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe we can discuss some spoilers on the down low. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you like this video? Did you dislike this video? Like or dislike it, whichever one you did. Subscribe, notification bell, you know the deal. Notification bell most importantly, but I would really like to hear your comments. And this has been the Randy Andy Show, and I'll see you in the next one.